Hey guys, hadn't done a video in several days. Been busy as usual. I know I say that a lot, but I really have been. Here's the Jeep. This is the 1980 Cherokee Chief that we finished up a LS swap on. Basically just plumbing everything in, getting the fuel system kind of figured out, and all the wiring, the gauges, we put Dakota digital gauges and stuff in it. I think it turned out good. I like it. It's a really neat truck. Let me see if I can get this hood up. That hood's a little bit heavy. Anyway, there it is. It runs great. Of course, there's no exhaust on it, so it's a little bit loud, but it does run good. Oh, and I meant to tell Josh about this cap. I've just stuck this old cap on. I'm gonna have to let him know we need to get a cap, and I was just at AutoZone. I could have bought one, didn't think a thing in the world about it. This is just an old junk radiator cap, and it's kind of letting the pressure's kind of bypassing the spring. So anyway, we got to get another cap. Either that or it may just be too weak. This one probably needs a probably a 16 pound, I guess. 20 is usually, I think, what the LS's run, but the 15, 16, whatever should be fine. I don't know how much pressure needs to be on that heater core. This is an older type heater core, and they're not exactly set up for all that pressure like these newer model cars are. But anyway, all that aside, I've kind of had to throw in the towel on this thing. It's throwing a U0107 code, which is the TAC module's lost communication with something, one of its sister components, whatever. I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but you basically got the TAC module, the throttle body, and the gas pedal. That's drive-by-wire. So something's off on the tune. I don't know what. I've changed all those things. I even put the stock pedal back on it. It did not help. Of course, I just plugged it in, didn't install it or anything. But anyway, I was going to take you just for a short little trip, not far, because the fuel tank is actually just ratchet strapped to the bottom of this Jeep. He's got a buddy that's going to help him strap that thing up, get it mounted. This old Jeep is really clean for its age. Let me find the right key here. One of them's for the doors, I think, and one of them's for the ignition. So, but starts right up, does its thing. Like I said, as long as you don't go over half throttle, it's great. It's kind of got me bum fuzzled to an extent. I'm again 99% sure that it is in the tune on this thing. And it happens. That's what you run into with stuff like this. But I went to hit the brake and I hit the gas pedal. I got some boots on and it kind of grabbed the brake pedal. This gas pedal is really touchy. It don't take much to hit that thing, and I've just done it again with my boot there. I'm trying to drive with one foot and record two, but like I said, as long as you don't go over half throttle, you can drive it. It does fine. But if you go over half throttle, it'll throw that code and go in limp mode, and you don't have a throttle pedal. So another reason why I'd like the drive-by cable myself, I think its speedometer's awful close. See, it's in limp mode now. So we'll get it back up here. Those Dakota digital gauges, they're not acting crazy. That's just how it looks on this camera for some reason. They're perfectly fine. But yeah, so it's in limp mode now. I can clear that code and take back off in it. That's where my foot kind of pushed the gas pedal down a little too far. But I mean, other than that, it's doing great. I mean, everything works, all the lights and stuff. So it won't be long and he'll be able to hit the road in this thing and enjoy it. I know it's been a while since it's been drove. I don't know how long it's set, but it's set for a while. So anyway, I think the biggest part's done on it. Like I said, he's gonna have to get it tuned and get the gas tank strapped up and get some exhaust put on this thing. It's super loud, but you can see there we got an engine code, which is, I guarantee you, the U0107. But anyway, just a super cool old Jeep. I'm not a Jeep guy at all. I don't like Jeeps. I've got buddies that have Jeeps and never have been a fan, but you know, I've always kind of liked the looks of these Wagoneers, and he brought this thing up here to me, and it's a two-door. So I'll just tell you, I'm not going to go out looking for one of these. But if I ever was to run across a two-door Cherokee Chief like this, I'll own it. I really like this thing. I like it a lot. It's just different. And I'm sure the Jeep guys would love it. I mean, if I love it, I'm sure Jeep guys love it. So anyway, all right, go ahead and kill this thing. He's a lineman actually, so he's out. We just had a terrible storm. It looks beautiful out here, but we had a pretty bad storm come through. It didn't hit us super hard, but all around us it did, and I'm sure that he's probably on the outskirts of us. I heard Cleveland got tore up pretty bad. Cleveland, Tennessee. I don't know that to be true. It's just what somebody said. Hadn't really watched the news or anything, and like I said, it was pouring rain and wind blowing, and now it's just beautiful clear blue skies. It's crazy. It was just storming like crazy maybe an hour ago. So anyway, but just wanted to give y'all an update on this thing. I think he's possibly going to bring it back. I've got to calibrate his speedometer. You've got to drive it down the road to do that. Everything else is set. He's ready to go. Maybe the tuner guy will do it, but he did say something about maybe bringing it back by here, letting me do a video on it once it's tuned, once it's got the exhaust. Either way, I'd like to see it. It's just a super cool ride. You guys have a good one. Matilda, my 59 wagon, has sprung a fuel leak, so I've got to address that. And you have to look over some of my mess here. Here's some of the stuff from this swap that he's got to pick up. That's a whole bunch of crap. But anyway, we dropped the fuel tank, fixed the fuel gauge, and we got to moving that metal line around, and now it's kind of sprung a leak. I fixed it. Now it's leaking again somewhere else. So we're just going to ditch the whole entire line, put a new steel line on it. I was trying to look to see. I can still smell gas, but it's not leaking. I guess that's just everything that's been all over the floor. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this line. You know, the car's a 59 model, so that fuel line is as old as the car, obviously. It's never been fooled with, and once you start getting in there, especially where the metal line kind of clips down in the little clips along the frame, stuff kind of gets trapped there between the line and the clip, and it just kind of rots it away. So anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and fix that. I don't want any more issues down the road. This is something that I drive, and you sure don't want to run into no problems there. While I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and check the steel brake lines that come back here to the rear brakes. I'll go ahead and check the fronts as well. Make sure they're in good shape. They may have been replaced. I don't know. That's usually one of the first things I look at with something this old, the metal brake line, stuff like that. You don't want to have issues, especially with brakes. I don't like to have a fuel leak either, but you know, you can at least get stopped if you got brakes. But anyway, you know, it could still be a disaster if that fuel line busts and it starts leaking onto the exhaust. It could catch on fire. I'm sure it's happened to, you know, a person or two. Man, my tag's just about out. So anyway, that's where we're at, Matilda. As soon as I get that fixed, I've got the bowl leaking. This was the thing that pissed him off with this car, and subsequently led him to sell it. The bowl up here, the spray pump, where it bolts to the bowl, it leaks. I've never really seen one do that. We had this one fixed, now it's leaking again. It may just be loose. I'm gonna try to tighten it up, but it's just a little drip. But worst case, I'll jerk that front bowl off and stick another bowl on it. No big deal. But once I get that fixed, get the little mechanicals worked out, I'm going to take those ugly gauges back out from under the dash, the aftermarket gauges, hook the stock heat gauge up, so now all the original gauges work. Like I said before, the original heat gauge worked, but it got a little higher than I liked. It looked like the car might have been getting hot, but it wasn't. Of course, I drove the car all over the place, drove it through a parade, which is really hard on one. If it's going to run hot, it's going to run hot in traffic. So but it never got hot. But anyway, I just wanted a peace of mind, so I threw a set of aftermarket gauges in it, and I've drove it. The car never gets over 160, so that's good. I'll jerk those back out, hook the original gauge back up, and we'll be good to go. You guys have a good one. Again, I just wanted to show y'all this Jeep. I'll be tickled to death to get it back to him, and be real happy to pass him going down the road in it when it's all said and done. I hate that I've had to kind of let it whoop me with that code, but I don't have the tuning software to do this, and that's why I'm not going to do any more of these for anybody. Maybe, you know, I'll do them for myself, but as far as doing them for other people, it's just a lot of work. You run into a lot of little issues that you don't really think about. Things don't work well, just like the fuel tank on this thing. That was a lot of hours just playing with that, trying to figure out what to do on it. Now these old trucks, Chevrolet trucks, nothing to those. Under the dash, just finding a place for the computer on this thing was a real pain in the butt, because when you get in this dash, the whole wiper arm assembly is behind the dash, so all that stuff's moving around, and you don't want a bunch of wires under there with moving parts. So I've showed you all this in several other videos. You can see the little diagnostic port, the fuse box, and then the computer's behind that. I'm happy with how it turned out. I hope he is. Of course, if he's not, we'll address whatever he wants to, but I think he's going to be tickled with it. All right, guys, the sun's coming out. It's turning into a pretty day here, so I'm going to try to enjoy that and go in here and get the baby and bring her outside. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.